and welcome to my show here on this lovely Tuesday, the 26th of September 2023. We're live this evening, bringing you the very best of MMA fighters and fighters in general. If you tune into my last episode, you would have saw another great promoter slash boxer slash fighter, Declan. He was a great guest, and of course today we bring on a true MMA star, as I would say. So Olli is joining us today, and I know it's quite late, as we discussed a few moments ago. That is quite late when you said it yesterday on when we announced it, and you said 9 o'clock on your Instagram story. So thank you for spending your late night here here on my show today. No, you're welcome. I appreciate that, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show. So you've got some important events lined up, as we all know. How did that all come about?
I was waiting for the opportunity to come back to Europe and fight more frequently, and Cage Warriors offered me a 5-fight deal, and I'm going to have my next fight on 14th of October in Dublin, and really waiting for that one.
Yeah, and the funny thing is regarding that fight is because on my last episode I had a great promoter out of Ireland promoting MMA, and now the next guy I have on the show is yourself talking about a great card which is coming to Dublin in October the 14th, and I do have it here ready to go to show everybody the exciting contest which yourself will be a part of on the 14th of October at Cage Warriors, which is going to be a fantastic show. And as you can see there's the card. Yourself against Sheehan or Shannon. How do you pronounce it? But it will take place in Dublin, Ireland at Cage Warriors 161. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, really much. I'm waiting to go there and show who the amazing is and get this win and aim for the title.
No, most definitely. And we got any? I'm guessing you have been, taking a lot of notes of all the weaknesses your opponent may bring, and vice versa as well. Do you think he has more weaknesses than you may oppose, or about the same maybe?
I'm basically 2 times more experienced than James. I've been doing this since I was 14 years old. I have over 50 amateur bouts, like 100 grappling and jiu-jitsu matches, and now this is going to be my 20th professional MMA bout. So basically I'm bringing lots of talent to Cage Warriors Cage in Dublin, and I think that James hasn't faced that before.
So you think the pressure then will be all over for him really to be the underdog to try and get over you, but of course you bring a lot of more experience, as you mentioned, and it's going to be a great fight to see who comes out on top. Of course it's going to be an amazing show, and the people of Ireland will be in full force as well. And what atmosphere can you bring back to your homeland?
I think that the atmosphere in Dublin will be quite hostile, if you can say it. I have heard that Irish people are quite eager fans for their own, but I'm bringing a lot of my fans from Finland and from Europe to Cage Warriors Arena in Dublin, and we're going to put it on a show. I don't mind. I've been the foreign fighter before, and I have been there one time before in Cage Warriors. It doesn't affect me. It's only boost me to show more proper fist fight in the cage.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I can't wait to see how the fans may perceive you as well.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about as well then if you've had 20 professional bouts that you mentioned before. What is your main focus point then? What is your main goal?
Like in fighting or overall in
Oh, in
per-
overall.
yeah, my main goal is to offer exciting fights for the fans, of course, so that I'm able to win them. I I'm not afraid to go for a fight and start banging. I have never been knocked out. I've never been finished, and I'm always bringing my A game to the cage. And this won't be any other thing. I'm just doing what I do the best, mix it up with strikes and kicks and take it to the ground and give the opponent proper ground and pounding or submit him in the some way I'm able to do.
Yeah. No, no, absolutely. And as you say, you always mix it up, and you always surprise your opponents all the time. And I'm sure you've got something up your sleeve for October the 14th. Um, have you been following the developments? Because of course, on if people can't make it to the show on October 14th, they can watch it on the UFC Fight Pass. As always, this is the official home for all the best promotions in Europe. And of course, recently the UFC have kind of merged and now got its new uh, company called the TKO Group, which now houses the UFC. Have you been following that deal?
Not not really. I'm quite new to that deal, but let's see how things go and need to check uh, about that.
Yeah, no, it's just an exciting merger with the WWE, and it's
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I got it. Yeah, I've been yeah. I have read something, but not. I don't know not much about it. But yeah, yeah. Now when you said it with VBA, yeah.
would you expect of course there were no drastic changes or anything like that, but do you think this is going to be great for not just UFC but for all of MMA in general to up their game to that next level to try to bring more fans to the sport?
Absolutely. Everything that brings more eyes to the sport and gives us fighters more exposure is good to my mind. But let's see how it goes, and when it goes down, let's see what it will do
Yeah,
to the
no,
game.
no, I agree with that. I agree with that. Um, let's see as well because you mentioned about your homeland of Finland, and how when did you thought that this was the sport for you?
Maybe back in 2008, I started with karate and kickboxing and original judo and jiu-jitsu back in 2004 and switched up to karate and kickboxing 2006. And after couple of years of training, my previous coach's son started to coach like beginners course for MMA,
Oh, that's cool.
and I didn't even know about MMA before that, but I got really interested when I saw the adults training and mixing up with the wrestling and grappling and punching and kicking, and I asked, "Can I join?" And the actually the coach, who is also my coach nowadays, Mikko, said me to watch the Ultimate Fighter. The season one was just coming in here in Finland, and I looked at the whole season and decided that I want to be doing this in the
Mm.
future. And after that, I started training. Uh, First, it was like submission grappling, submission fighting, and after that, when I won my first competition tournament, I fought. I was 14 years old, and I won 65 kilos category in
Wow.
males division. And after that, everybody asked that if I'm ready to go for the MMA, and I decided to switch to MMA and started my amateur journey, which took quite long till 2014, and after that I turned pro 2015, and still here.
Still here, and you're raring to go on October the 14th when you get those gloves out and you show the whole of Ireland what you are and who you are. Because I want to know as well, like the rest of the world will probably want to know, where on earth, well, I want to be on earth, but how did you get the name, the nickname, The Amazing from? That's what I would love to know.
Oh yeah, it was. I was training in All Stars. I think back in 2015 or 16, and there was the MMA Vikings reporter Ryan O'Leary, and he was making a scoop for me to the website, and he actually made me meet the amazing Olli Santalahti, and some promoter picked it up from there, and after that it has been my cage name.
Well, it suits you, I have to say. And Ryan O'Leary, he is quite a credible source as well, a credible person. Everybody knows who he is. So if he says something, it must mean legit, and it shows it.
Absolutely, and it's. I think it's always the better that someone else takes the makes the nickname, so you don't need to feel like making your own nickname. I want to be called like this and like that, but it was quite nice and funny to me, so I decided to keep it.
Yeah, no, good on you, because I also like that. I would like somebody to tell you a nickname and say you haven't come up with something yourself, because you might come across as an arrogant person when in general you're not, type thing. So it's better to have somebody else from the outside call you something, because then you say, that is me. Exactly right there. But what have you been called any other interesting nicknames along your journey so far, which you thought, I'm not going to stick with that one, or you may have used that one for a while before clinching onto something better, like of course The Amazing?
No, not really. I've been quite happy with it, and after it was made for me, I've been I haven't even thought about changing the nickname or about the possibilities to have another nickname.
And no other nicknames have come through you before you got the nickname of the Amazing either, which you found maybe quite amusing or maybe quite angry about?
Not really. Do you mean like if my opponents have had some nicknames that have been make me like thinking that quite bad nickname, or did you mean that if I was ever wondering some nickname for me?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, not really. Sometimes some fighter might have like quite cringe nickname. I don't know, like if they're like now I don't remember any nicknames that have been caused me that effect, but some of them are pretty good when they like make the right picture of the fighter, and like for example for me it could be something else like the Spartan. It's quite used, so I'm quite happy with Amazing. I have never seen it with some any other fighter. There might be someone with Amazing nickname also, but yeah, quite not. I'm not putting much pressure about the nicknames.
No, don't blame me. Don't get caught into the mind games of your opponents. And speaking about mind games as well, like when you have go to these press conferences and when you got all this social media spat as well between opponents, does that ever get on your nerves or get into your head, or how do you try and control not to let it get to you before the fight?
I'm always like focusing on my training and the stuff I can do on my own. I'm not worrying about the opponent. I'm not stalking their Instagram. I'm not. Maybe I will maybe watch a couple of them fights with my coach, and after that, I don't put much pressure on that. Uh, and when it comes to the interviews and stuff they say, it's always uh, like people are trying to sell the fight. So of course I read sometimes what people are saying and what are their pressure, how they see the fight will go down, but trying to not focus on that too much.
No, no, don't blame me for that. And of course, we should mention as well that if my guess is a bit uh, compared to maybe other interviews you may see him on, you might be a bit more thinking, a bit more slower to respond. It's because he's been quite busy this evening. He's been sparring because he's a busy person getting prepared for October the 14th. How is your sparring going? And, what kind of diet are you on at the moment?
Yeah, the sparring and training is going good. I'm trying to get like 12 to 13 training sessions per week,
Oh, wow.
like approximately about 18 to 22 hours a week. Usually I do ads and technique with my coach in the morning, and the evening trainings are with training partners. Today we have sparring. I have a couple Finnish pro fighters here in Finland helping me to end. This is actually my last hard week, and after this week, I'm starting to cut more weight and start to like finalize everything and try to be as sharp as I can be
Mm-hmm.
on on the fight day.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything's going good, and training is hard, and training is going really well.
Good to hear. And what kind of food are you currently doing? I'm guessing you got a lot of proteins, probably a lot of chicken, I guess, as well, to give you all that extra energy you need for October the 14th in Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah. I've been dieting for this fight like 5 weeks now. As soon as I heard that I'm going to have this, of course, my calorie intake was quite much higher
Right.
when I started dieting, but now I've been cutting the carbs and eating like more cleaner, basically lots of vegetables, rice,
Oh,
and
yeah.
chicken. But yeah. Now we go like little lower on the calorie intake, and we start cutting the carbohydrates the next 2 weeks, and after that I'm starting my water loading 1 week before, and maybe going to take. I have something like 10 kilos to go. I'm at about 87 kilos now, so 9.5 kilos to go, and I'm probably going to need to cut the last 5 to 6 kilos in the sauna.
Yeah. Well, good targets to have, and hopefully you get to your targets in time of the big event on October the 14th for Cage Warriors. Of course, it's going to be live and also streaming on the UFC Pass as well. So we do not have the UFC Pass, then I urge you to get, because you can see one of the best promotions in all of Europe, Cage Warriors, featuring my guest Olli as well. And I should mention as well, Olli, because you're in Finland, of course. I don't know how popular MMA has grown since you started in 2004/2008. Do you think it's taken off over there in Finland as well, like it has done everywhere else in Europe?
Yeah, the MMA is growing bigger every year here in Finland. We have a proper new MMA fighters coming, and our pro fighters have started to uh, bring their knowledge to other promotions outside Finland, and I think it's growing with the people tend to come to like beginners course more, and we actually have our beginners course like 70 people on that in MMA and about same amount in the BJJ. So everybody is like getting to more familiar with MMA and sports around it, so it brings more audience and brings more talent from Finland.
Yeah, and I guess a lot of people will be looking at you at the moment as like this is the guy I want to be the future, because you are kind of setting the tone that if this guy from Finland can go to Cage Warriors and fight in Ireland, then I want to be the next of him and following your footsteps.
Yeah, absolutely. There's quite many people, young people that want to be pro fighters, and I hope that everybody and every one of them will do the hard work and will get their chance to fight in a bigger leagues. But
Mm.
it takes a lot of time and lots of fights before you can get to the level, and especially it gets lots of time and training to be able to win in this level, and that's one thing that people tend to forget before they make the decision that they want to be pro fighters.
Yeah, well, as you say as well, but would you not say that sometimes some fighters may have an edge now because of social media and that they can grow a great fan base through TikTok or through the Instagram nowadays, that they could get up that chain a bit faster than some other fighters may have to?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one thing that I'm not quite I'm not a big fan of that, because fighting should be fighting, and people should get their opportunities based on their talent and their like how they perform in the fights. If they're having a great battles inside the cage and they can do their work really good, they should be able to get higher and get good matches in the big promotions. And sometimes people with like 100,000 followers can't understand that you can't just step step to the cage and try to get big fights if your talent isn't enough. Of course, the promoters like them because they can sell lots of tickets and PPVs, but yeah,
It's happening in boxing at the moment, where a lot of celebrities and YouTubers are now getting into the boxing. Are you a fan of that? Do you think that's great for boxing in general, and do you think that maybe could happen in the world of MMA, where YouTubers or other celebrities come into the world of MMA? Because I know somebody who does like MMA commentary, who has now done a few kind of matches in the cage, and won one and I think lost one as well. But are you in support of that idea, or do you think that they should just stick to their own worlds basically and leave the fighting to the experts?
it's quite complicated. If you're really training and like the Paul brothers, Jake Paul fought uh, the what's the Fury.
Oh yeah.
That so if you're able to get that big a fight and you're training properly, no problem. You're bringing more eyes to the combat sports, but of course, people behind the screens should remember that the fights, the big fights, like uh, like these fights are made just for the money, and people tend to be more interested when they know the other person, the celebrity, and they want to watch how he's doing. I don't say Paul has done quite good in the boxing, of course. So no, I'm not against it, but I'm not the biggest fan of it
Yeah.
either.
That's understandable. That's understandable. Um, let's talk about as well. You know, you pick out great destinations you will love to travel to. I guess you can tick off, of course, Ireland in a few weeks' time, because of course October begins on Sunday, and then of course the countdown begins from then to the fight. Is there any other destinations you would love to fight out of?
Yeah, Cage Warriors has done few events in Rome.
Yeah,
It would be definitely one of my favorite places to fight. Gladiators used to fight in Rome. It would be really, really nice to fight there. My fans would be able to travel there quite easy from Finland. And of course, after I will finish James, it will be my 10th first round finish. I want to stay active, and I'm aiming for the Newcastle event on 25th of November.
right, okay. Here first means we're about to bring you back on again in November time to chat about that one. That'd be
Yeah,
quite
yeah,
good.
my training partner Ville Mankinen is actually his fight in Newcastle, Cage Warrior Newcastle, was announced yesterday,
Yeah.
I think, and it would be really, really good opportunity for me to fight also there because we're gonna go with a bigger team and more Finnish fans can travel there and more eyes from Finland will be watching.
Yeah, no, most definitely more eyes from me, from Finland, and not just that, but from around the world, wherever people can get the UFC Fight Pass if they can't come in person as well. And before we hang this up as well, before we do anything else, I just want to tell people that we have shown Ollie's social media on the screen. Of course, you can follow him on Facebook, you can follow him on X, and on Instagram as well. Do you not do the threads?
Excuse me, can
You,
you repeat?
uh, I'm just saying, don't you not do the threads platform as well? That new the new competition to X.
Yeah, yeah, I have not big user of X, the former Twitter. I presume I have my account there, but not. I think that I have never posted anything on my own there. Maybe reposts or something like that.
Yeah, no, don't blame you for that. And of course, will we see you maybe venturing out to the new competitor threads in the future, or are you going to stick on the three you're already on, which might be enough for you? I know it's enough for me because there's too many out there nowadays.
Yeah, there are.
But outside of MMA, is there any other sports you enjoy watching?
Uh, Actually, I can watch all the sports, but maybe alongside MMA, my favorite would be like track and field. I like to watch it. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's quite the opposite from your sport, really.
Yeah, and then I like to watch weightlifting.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Good
those
old
are
weightlifting. Do enjoy weightlifting in the Olympics and of course the track and field in the Olympics as well as the World Championships as well. There are quite some really good athletes coming out of those, isn't there? Do you think you could become a weightlifter in the long future as well?
I actually have I haven't like competed in weightlifting. I have been doing Olympic weightlifting since I was 14, I think. I'm being able to clean and jerk like 140 kilos,
Wow,
and I have snatched 100 kilos, so that's quite good
it
for my
is.
weight. And I'm not like a professional weightlifter, but yeah, and then I have done lots of CrossFit, so they tend to be a big part of the training in CrossFit. So um, maybe I can't say maybe I should focus on more on strength.
No. I
Like,
think if you get free time and any weightlifting competitions come up, maybe you should have a go. Yeah, because you might become a professional weightlifter alongside a professional MMA fighter.
yeah, but maybe not. Maybe we stick with this and push 110% to MMA
Yes.
and aim for the UFC.
Yeah, yes, exactly. The UFC, yes, the place to be. And we look forward to seeing what happens again right now here on your screen. The big fight on October the 14th for Cage Warriors. It's going to be a great show. And any final message for your opponents?
Stay healthy and let's have a proper fist fight in Dublin, Ireland. I'm going to take the win over you, and I'm heading to the title. I'm bringing the Cage Warriors title to Finland after I know who is the champion. They announced the fight. I think it's 11th of November, and after my fight, I'm looking for that fight so I can challenge the champion.
Well, you heard it here first. We wish you the best of luck for October the 14th. Final reminder, be there, or if you can't be there, you can watch it on UFC Fight Pass and wonder why you didn't get a ticket. And perhaps the next big event, you might want to decide to get a ticket because it's going to be worth it. Trust me, the band's going to be pumped. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere, and history will be made either way. And we can't wait to see what happens. And thank you again for joining the show. And I was quite surprised when you actually did respond to me to be on the show, because I thought you might not be interested, but I'm glad you was interested to come on my show, and hoped you liked the examples I sent you of some of the past interviews I've done.
Yeah, I watched couple minutes of them and it seemed quite nice. So of course I'm always eager to join interviews and tell more about myself to fans.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I appreciate your time, and we wish you all the best, and I hope everything goes to plan for you, as I'm so sure it will, and we will be talking again in November. If you be interested in coming on just before the big show on November the 11th, then.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do our jobs before that, then let's see how it goes, and after that we can schedule a new meeting.
Yes, you hear it first, ladies and gents. Pleasure to meet you, and all the best, and can't wait to see what happens on October the 14th. And if you enjoyed tonight's episode with my guest Olli, then make sure to smash that like button, share the video around, tell more about Olli and how amazing he is here tonight, and how he's going to be amazing in the cage when he throws fists and kicks and all sorts against a underdog of an opponent on October the 14th in Dublin, Ireland. And if you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think as well by leaving a comment in the comments below. Are you on Olli's side, or do you think the underdog might surprise him? Maybe, who knows? But let me know what you think in the comments. And until the next episode drops, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. And I have over 216 subscribers.